Welcome back, everybody.
Hey guys!
Hey, welcome back to the 5th episode of our CHG podcast, hosted by me, RJ, and my buddy over there, or I guess maybe over here, depending on how I edit the video, David.
Wherever I am. I'm normally on the
Yeah.
right-hand side. That's how you have been
I
doing
guess,
it.
yeah, okay. Maybe on the right-hand side, so I guess how you be seeing it be that way. So,
Yeah.
whatever. Fuck it. Anyways, so yeah, I guess the podcast where we talk about games. You know, we
And
try to
game
have
things.
intellectual conversations about games, not just like, oh, EA sucks, and like, oh, the big Battlefield 2042 is out, yay. We try to go a little deeper than that, have some more meaningful conversations about the industry that we both know and love. Anyways, so we're gonna get right into it. If David goes off his phone, we're gonna get right into it, talking about what games we're playing right now. I'll go off.
Yeah.
I'm still playing Remnant from the Ashes. It's I talked about it last week, and it's a Souls like, but with guns basically. That's like how they're trying to mix things up because it's heavy on
So not as
gunplay.
good.
You you do have a melee weapon, but yeah, it's to your detriment to use it, honestly, because you're not gonna have armor good enough to withstand all of the barraging you're gonna be dealing with to fight melee. When I played the game initially, when I first played it, I was using melee most of the time, and it was okay at first. But when you're in dungeons, there's like these weaker, but like there's like weaker enemies down there, but like they come in numbers, and it's just the melee's not going to do it. So it's just better to pick them off with the gun. And also, like, you actually can have builds. I didn't think, like, I kind of noticed it, but I was like, it's probably not that deep. And actually is fairly deep, not like Neo deep, but it's fairly deep to where, like, sometimes armor can work well with some of the accessories that you find, and then like the weapons themselves can have mods that help with things. And there's like these traits, which are basically just active buffs that are always on. You have to earn them by doing certain things in the game, but once you have them, they're permanent. You just have to keep you have to use trait points that you earn as you level up to boost them up. They all have you can boost up to level 20, all of them, and they range from all types of things. Like, so there's like the general just increase health and endurance, which is stamina. And then there's like, increase your critical hit chance, critical hit rate, or sorry, critical hit damage, weak spot damage, fire rate, how much damage you take from incoming like melee or range damage, how fast you use consumables, the whole gambit. But I'm almost done with the base game with the trophies. I'm just about done with it, and then I will be buying the 2 DLCs that they came out, expansions as well for it. So I'll be playing this for a good while, probably another couple week or two. But that's what I am at. I know what you're playing, but not everyone else does. So,
Yeah.
what are you playing, David?
I'm playing Hades, and
You
it's
sure as
been
shit is.
awesome. So I've beaten run 1. So
Whatever that means.
So basically, I made it out of hell and found my mom once. But there's a story, MacGuffin, that makes it so you have to do multiple runs. So I am currently doing that. Once you're done with the first run, a couple different things happen. You get this like challenge kind of thing to where there's 3 levels of hell that you make it through, and each one that you make with each of the 6 weapons, you get Titan blood, a diamond, and something else, and each one of those things upgrades weapons and other things in the game, but you can only get once per weapon until you finally beat the run. And then you get this challenge thing, which you can basically it puts like modifiers on the run, so like you take more damage, or there's more enemies per chamber or something like that, and you have to put enough of those on there to raise your heat level of hell, and then you can earn another Titan blood or diamond, or I can't remember the other thing, and then upgrade your weapon more and do more runs and stuff like that. So I've been playing a crap ton of that. I love it. It's really good. It definitely deserved Game of the Year. It's beautiful. The voice acting is amazing. Like, if there was a Netflix show of Hades with like the same voice actors and everything, I'd watch it. Like absolutely. And I think like they could totally do it because the art style is very much like Dracula, not Dracula, Castlevania on Netflix. If you've
Oh,
seen that,
okay.
the art style is very similar. So like they were to do that, but Hades, it'd be really cool and it's funny. I got a little bae. Her name's Meg. She's a Valkyrie. Yeah, we definitely had a little something something, and then it fell apart. But I'm
And it
I'm
fell apart.
I'm giving her gifts and shit in normal video game fashion, to get her to like me again. So
That
you know,
reminds me of Dead or Alive Extreme Volleyball. Um, so I didn't know this. Like, so when I watched Game Grumps, they played the second and third one, I think, on their channel, and I guess you can give the girls gifts, for them to like you,
yeah,
or you can have it to where one of the girls gives one of the other girls a gift. I don't, I guess that's part of what you do, but like they can also
weird game.
reject the gift. They can reject the gift if they want to. I don't know what triggers it, but they can reject it. And they were trying to, or Aaron was playing it, and he was trying to get Helena, who's like the German blonde one. Do you know what I'm talking
Yeah,
about?
I
Yeah,
remember. Yeah,
she wanted to win her affection, but she kept denying the gifts, and he was like melting down, like he was losing his mind. It was like, why, why, why can't you accept my love? Like all I do is love you. It was hilarious. You guys
so
should
yeah.
watch it. Recommend,
But
highly
I'm
recommend.
I'm I'm playing that, and then my friend also made a Minecraft Realms server. So I've only been on there once, but he wants me to get on there more. So I will probably be
So
doing that.
from that one time you went on it, when was the last time you played Minecraft? From that point
Before
forward,
that,
yeah, before that,
it's been a couple years,
I thought so. I was
but
just
it's
curious.
still kicking, and I still it's still
Oh,
fun.
I know it is. I know.
I made
Trust me, I know.
I made a house and everything. It was fun.
I'm sure you did.
Yeah.
I have one question when it comes to Hades.
What?
So, for those who don't know, it is a roguelike. For
Yeah.
those who are notoriously hard, um,
Yeah.
is this accessible? Is this one accessible?
Yeah. Yeah. So like it is.
Because I thought I heard that it kind of is. It's not
Yeah.
as just beat you to the ground kind of
So
roguelike.
for one, there is definite progression. So like you know what your goal is because although the chambers are randomly generated, it still is the three distinct levels of hell that you have to get to. So you definitely know that you're making progress as you go through. Um, and basically, it like as I was going through, like I was like, oh man, this portion of is hard. I have no idea how I ever make it to the boss of the next round because I'm getting the shit kicked out of me in this round. But it was very well paced. I then all of a sudden started feeling a little better, and then I was making it through the first level of hell without losing one of my lives, or as much life, depending on how you build you build your build. Um, so yeah, no, it's accessible. It's still hard, but you can. It's better because you can tell you're making progress still.
Okay,
It's my
interesting.
favorite roguelike for sure.
I'm sure it will be many people's favorite roguelike. I will say I will wait to see because those aren't that top down view is kind of like a top down hack and slash of sorts from
Like
what I've
Diablo.
gathered.
It's
Yeah,
very much like Diablo.
that's never been my type of game, but given how well crafted this is,
It is
I
very.
might give it a shot. But I'm gonna wait to see how hard it is to get the platinum trophy. That'll be my determining factor.
It seems
Because
hard because like I don't know, I haven't checked it out, but I can only assume that there's some kind of like trophy for having all of the heat up. So to have all of the modifiers, and some of the modifiers are ridiculous. So like, there's one that you have to make it out of each level of hell in like 10 minutes. But like couple that with like you know the monsters doing the mobs doing more damage and you doing less. I can imagine them like having something to do with that, and that'd be
Well,
rough.
I did read the list, but I didn't really understand what anything was. I was looking for like just easy stuff, like beat the game on elite crazy difficulty, but I don't know how the game even works. So, but I didn't see that, but I saw other things. So like, but I don't know what any of it means, so I don't know yet. But you'd be surprised. Like sometimes even for games that are supposed to be hard, sometimes the platinum ends up being kind of easy. Like
Yeah.
for instance, Neo 1 and 2 actually are pretty easy platinums to get. You wouldn't think so, but you have to get over the hurdle.
Yeah.
But once you get over that hurdle, as far as getting the platinum is concerned, is actually
So the
pretty
game's
easy.
hard, but the platinum's not.
It's really strange how that works, but
In
because you have to beat
relativity
the
to the
game. You have to
Yeah.
beat the game, but
Yeah.
like, yeah,
But in
it's not
relativity to
not what
the
you
game.
think. Yeah, it's not what you might think. So I don't know. I'll wait and see because I know for a big game like this, there will be a lot of people who will like review it and trophy review it, and I'll be able to like read like what people think. Anyways, moving on. So this week for our like random question, David has one.
Question of the day.
David had one today,
Question of
and
the
so
day.
I will let
I
him
got a
introduce it.
question for RJ.
Yes, he does. What is
All
your
right.
question, David?
So my question, and we talked about this before, but it's always an interesting one to bring up because we both have interesting takes on this question. But it is, out of every game that there is, what is one game that you would love to see remastered or remade for current generation?
Yeah. When you told me that, when you gave me that question, the first game that popped into my head was SSX.
And it was, that's what you said the last couple times too when we talked about it.
Good.
Oh yeah.
Well, good because it deserves it. Now
So just SSS or SSS tricky?
Well, I was just using it as like a umbrella term because I would love to have all of them, except Blur, except Blur on the Wii. That one can get fucked. But
so like a Tony Hawk Pro Skater 1 and 2 kind of deal.
Well, here's the thing. So I played original SSX. It was really weird, but tricky is when they when they went crazy. So I played.
That's what everybody knows it from.
Yeah, everyone knows tricky. Tricky is a shit, but SSX 3 is actually fucking really good. People forget SSX 3 is actually really really good. They went like more, I guess, kind of open worldish of sorts. Like it's not just like you choose event in like the main menu like a regular game you might think. It's all events are all like in the world like a free roam. It's a free roam style. That's what I should say. But it's really really good. And then SSX on Tour came out, and that was kind of like riding the coattails of like Thug 2, like that kind of Jackass type of feel to it. Yep. It doesn't have Jackass stuff, but like it has like that
underground.
It has the underground feel. Like it has like that whole that whole feel to it. So, but it was still really really freaking fun. I loved SSX on Tour. And then Blur came out for the Wii, and that one it did like okay, but I didn't play it. I'm a Wii, so I would preferably like to have SSX 1, Tricky, 3, and on Tour. But if I was limited to one, of course you want Tricky, honestly. But if they had done 3 or on Tour, even I would not be mad at all. But like that was the first game that came to mind. But I would love to have, and people I've seen this on Reddit a couple times, but people are like really really wanting Ratchet and Clank to make the jump to PS4, PS5. And
so like I think Ratchet and Clank or Sly Cooper and Jak and Daxter, like it's gonna happen.
Well, not a new game, but as far as you're in the realm of remasters, such, well, Jak already did. Jak is actually did get remastered on PS4. All of them, even the racing one, which was a surprise, which was good, by the way.
Did they get physicals?
They did, but it was only via Limited Run Games. You know that company, Limited Run Games?
Yeah, I know the company. I just didn't know.
They were the ones who sold it, and all limited. They were like limited units and everything. You can find some online on eBay, but like even because they all came like in special packaging, it was all super special edition version type of shit, right? I've been trying to see how much they will be going for now. And if you want, Jak X is the easiest to find. That's the most listings. But like Jak 1, I think I saw some listings for it, like $100. So if I want that whole collection physically, I'm going to be spending probably the same price as a PS5. Honestly.
Honestly, though, I was expecting worse.
Oh, but I
like when you said it was limited run, I was expecting like $400 or something
well,
like
as time goes on, I mean, because
that. I mean, yeah, but
it
like
was
right now,
it was only a couple years ago when it happened, so give it some time.
yeah,
But I think 3 might be pushing that number because 2 and 3 I could not. They're really people aren't really selling those, aren't reselling those. But the ones that are,
yeah,
they are pretty high. But anywho, so Jack's already happened, so that's great, and you can find digital copies on the store for like $20 each. So so that happened. Sly Cooper would be amazing for sure. I would love a Sly Cooper, um, the collection and 4 that was on the PS3. Just bring them, just port them up, PS4, PS5. That'd be amazing. Um, God of War would be fun. I was so confused because we were working at GameStop at the time when 3 got remastered, and we were just like, I mean, 3 is great, but there's like 1,000 other games that they're all great. Why did
yeah,
I felt that was such a huge missed opportunity. Why not just bring the whole fucking saga over from 3 to 4? Why'd you stop at 3? Like it made no fucking sense. Like that was really dumb. Um, so I would love to see the rest of that collection go. But Ratchet has like 11 games and 10 of them were on the PS3. And people were like, "Yo, like Ratchet and Clank hype is kind of high right now. Like let's make this happen, Like I like the PS4 reboot remake that was based off the movie, which was I'm sorry, it was a mess. But like
yeah.
I liked it. It was fun, but a lot of people don't, and they're just like, yo, just let me have old 10 PS3 Ratchet games, one fucking gigantic collection. Put it on PS4 or PS5 or both. We will buy the shit out of that, even if it's like $100. Like, as long as you I think that'd be justifiable if they throw in like some extra goodies with it too. Like maybe I don't know, some extra little physical memorabilia. I think they could do it. If not, then like maybe $70 or something for like all those games, because that is a lot of games, and even if they are old, that's a lot of games. So I feel
And
yeah.
are you talking just ports or
Oh
remasters?
well, ideally, it'd be nice if they could upscale. Just use the power of the systems like for the like well, as far as like upscaling the graphics and tech and stuff.
Because like to me that doesn't sound like enough money. Because you have Crash 1 through 3 was $40. So for 3 games it was $40. So I mean, I would be thinking for like the same thing,
Well,
like,
I mean,
you know,
I'm not asking for
$40 per
remakes.
3
I don't need
games.
rebuilt remakes of any of those games. Honestly, if they were ports, I would buy them if they were just
Yeah.
ports. I don't care. Um, However,
Yeah.
they would need to do some work on Deadlocked because they fucked up the port on that one. But yeah, no, I would if they were just ports, I'd take them. But like ideally, at bare minimum, I would like to at least get like a 1080p upscale or 4K upscale. Maybe do something with the shadows or textures. Just make the textures crisper or something like that. Just some some cleanup stuff. That'd be fine with me, and I think that'd be fine with a lot of fans. I don't think anyone's really like when I read the stuff. People who do want to open up a thread for it, no one's saying like we want built up remasters. We don't want what they did with the PS4 Ratchet and Clank. We just want to just in any form, just give us old Ratchet and Clank to the newer systems so we can play them again. So that would be my next one. But anyways, to you, I don't know what your answers were. I don't forget. So what the fuck? What would you want remastered? What would you want?
You forgot
I'm
we've
sure you
talked
did,
about
but
it.
I don't remember. What do
We've
you want
talked about it
remastered?
a lot. So so first, like, just a thought that I have a lot is I just need, and I understand why they're not, because they're about to come out with Diamond and Pearl. But I would just like all of the Pokemon games to be released on the Nintendo Store, like in their current forms. Like they don't have to touch a single thing. I just want to be able to play Pokemon, like Heart Gold, Soul Silver, uh, Fire Red, Leaf Green. I just want to be able to play them on my Switch. I would legitimately pay $60 for Heart Gold, Soul Silver. Like, and they wouldn't have to touch it at all. Like, just basically just put an emulator on there and let me purchase it, and I would do it. So that's that kind of thing that annoys me. But like, I have a feeling that they're just gonna keep remaking Pokemon games until the Earth burns
Yeah,
out.
it's just.
Um,
Yep. I was gonna say it's a
but
shame that Nintendo
no, go for it.
um that
Hates money.
and they're not the best of preservation, especially even with their own titles. It's a shame because especially with the
Yeah,
3DS finally, getting phased out as time goes on, and handheld Pokemon games kind of
that's
phasing
why.
out
Yeah,
as a whole. And since they won't let anyone make a fucking fan game, like why not
yeah,
put, if not an emulator, something to get those handheld games. I mean, they're doing what they start a little slowly with the NES games that you get if you're part of their membership, or SNES games or whatever, or N64.
yeah.
I don't know. They're doing some kind of classic stuff, retro stuff with their old titles. I mean, your handheld is like your biggest thing. So and what better game to start off with than the Pokemon? If they did what, because remember when they dropped it for
Yeah.
3DS, Red, Blue, and Yellow, and oh my gosh,
Yeah, people went
everyone
fucking
lost their
nuts.
minds.
Dude, yellow was like we sold so many 3DSs that week
Yeah, I
because
need to
the
play.
people were like, "Oh, I
They were
gotta play
$10 per
yellow."
game too, which was a
Like,
steal.
and it was
Oh yeah,
it was the
same
exact
game.
same game. It was
And you
just
were
on
able
the
to play
3DS.
or do the connecting stuff online, which was nice. That was super nice. Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, no. You could do
the
the
Pokebank
trading
and
within
stuff.
the
Yeah.
the cable link stuff, but you could do that online.
Oh yeah,
With
yeah,
just the
yeah,
system,
yeah.
which was amazing.
Yeah.
No more fucking around with cable links.
Mm,
And they were only $10. Fuck it, it's easy. Like,
yeah. So anyway,
oh,
that was just my warm up
that's
one.
the warm up, people.
My
We just
actual
getting
one,
started.
well, my actual one is, although I did not love Fallout 4, the engine was pretty good. I would lose my shit if Fallout 3 and New Vegas were put in the Fallout 4 engine and released on next gen. Like, I don't need, like, Bethesda needs a new engine for sure.
Yes, they do.
For sure, for sure. But I would just be okay. I would lose my shit if I had the Fallout 4's engine but with New Vegas. Like, I would. Oh man, it would be the best. Maybe the best day of my life. Save my marriage, my wedding day. Like, it would be incredible. Uh, like, I love that world. I love that game. Fallout, New Vegas especially. 3 is also good, but New Vegas is the best Fallout game hands down. If you think otherwise, you're wrong. Well, okay, I will give it up to the
Yeah, bro, you don't know
OGs
anything
who
about
played
1, 2,
like 1
Brotherhood
and
of
2.
Steel. Like, we only know 3 in New
That's true.
Vegas. Like,
That's true. Of the first person
the 3D
ones,
ones, the 3D
New
ones,
Vegas
the
is hands
3D.
down the
Well, I guess
best.
maybe those are considered 3D. You guys know
Yes.
what we're talking about.
Ha-
Just everything after the turn-based,
yeah.
top-down, fucking
After
all
after
that stuff.
Bethesda
Before all of that,
started to make
you
it.
know what was so upsetting? I
Yeah.
remember when
But
Fallout
it's hands down
released
the best one.
that Nuka
Mm.
collection, and it was mainly it was only for PC, I believe.
Mm.
But it had all the Fallouts except for 4, I think, all of them, including all expansions and all that shit. And at first I got excited because I didn't know how Fallout started. I thought it was just 3 New Vegas, like that style. So when I was like, oh fuck yeah,
Yeah.
like I'm solely down to play some, how I like playing games from their origins to see how they grow. I love that shit. So I was so excited, and then I looked up and I was like, oh, I don't I don't like this
Yeah.
type of
Turn
game.
based.
So I was so disappointed.
Turn based
But
top
yeah, so I
down.
never got it. But
Well,
also it was
like,
only for PC.
yeah.
So that should have gave me my warning sign right then and there. But yeah, it's a shame.
But yeah, that's what I would do.
People, do you
Like,
understand how big of a deal
I
this
would lose
is?
my shit.
Okay, this man loves Fallout 3 in New Vegas so much that he is willing to take them with an outdated engine in today, which was outdated at the time. He would take an outdated engine for Fallout 3 in New Vegas. That is some love right there. If that's not love, I don't know what it is.
Because I mean, like, the Force engine, Fallout 4's engine was pretty much the same engine as New Vegas, but a lot prettier, and that's all I need. Like,
What a simple
just
man.
make it a lot prettier for
What a
me.
simple man this guy is.
Just,
He
slap
honestly would even.
some
He just
makeup
needs.
on it, and
He just wants to just.
I still love
Well,
it.
wait, because you can technically play those on your Xbox One, so you really do want them to be kind of actually
Yes.
spruced up a little bit. Then
Yeah, they need to. I want them in
Okay.
4's engine.
Yeah.
4's engine
Yeah.
is an
Okay.
updated,
Okay. So yeah,
graphically,
because you
superior
can play
engine.
them on Xbox One. Yeah,
They leave
because they
everything
did make
else the
those back
same.
compatible, so you can technically play them. But he's looking for something more than just a port. He wants an actual, spruced up versions of them.
Yes.
He wants the Crash, trilogy version of Fallout 3 in New Vegas, essentially. Hey
Yeah.
man, if it ever happens, I'm
Yeah.
sure I'll be the first to know about it from you. Yeah, he fucking loves that game. He's only
Always.
beaten it probably once, but he's played it. He's restarted it like 20 times.
Yes. In fact, I have only beaten New Vegas
That was just a joke. That
one
wasn't.
time. No, so like I've played that game more than I played any other game ever. And yeah, I've only beaten it one time. I sided with the NCR. Um,
Because
and yeah,
he's so fickle
that's the one
with
time
his
I beat the game.
He'll play even like halfway through it. And he'll be like, I just don't like how my stats are specced out. Restart game, the whole
No,
game.
it's like I'll be like, it'd be a really cool build if I did it this way, and I'm just like, or another reason is because like I'll step away from it for a while, I'll come
Oh
back
yeah,
to it, and I'll have
yeah.
no
He'll go
fucking
so
clue where I'm
long
at.
because he doesn't play games to finish most of the time. So he'll
Yeah,
he'll be like, what the fuck?
yeah.
Whatever. Restart. Start over.
Whatever. Start over. Time to get shot in
Did you
the
ever
head
play
again.
Witcher?
Like, all right, cool.
Witcher 3? Okay, I'm glad you
Oh,
didn't get
I
into it
tried.
because if
Yeah,
that happened to you, like bro, you you would want to restart the game a million times. You really wouldn't. Not that game.
yeah.
Yeah,
So
so that's him and his love for Fallout. Anyways, comment below what remake you would love to see. Whatever era game it is. You want to go back to the fucking Amiga, whatever, man. Just hit us, put it down below. What remaster, what old game, or I guess game that's just not this current generation or the last one, I guess technically. Um, that you would like to see remastered or remade, ported, whatever. Just allow you to play on your more recent console. And it was on to today's main story. So this was inspired to me earlier this week. I read an article from Forbes magazine, and hot take, I generally don't really take or listen to what Forbes has to say about video games that much, especially when it's reviews. And my reason is because that's not their domain, in my opinion. I think they're just jumping on it because now it's big enough where you can. But I don't I won't hold their word over even IGN's. Like I won't hold their word over IGN's. Honestly, I won't because they don't have credibility in my eyes. In the gaming sphere, this is a new thing for them as a publication, and so I don't hold them to a lot of high regard. And I know that kind of pisses on the reviewer because I mean he could be a fucking their residential gamer in the office, and kudos to that person. But I'm sorry, like you're writing for the wrong publication, in my opinion, like in my eyes. So anyway, but still, this article wasn't about a review. It was about a business, concept, and it was actually funny you bring up Hades. It was about Hades. So Hades dropped last Friday, and the sales numbers are coming out for it.
yes.
And this article focused on the physical game sales, and it reported that the exact numbers. I'm trying to think of the exact numbers. Dang it, I can't remember. But the point of it was the number that matters here is that only 7% of its physical box sales were on Xbox. Majority, like 80 or 90% something, were on PlayStation, and a certain amount were on PC or Switch. I don't know, one of the other ones. But 7% were on Xbox.
So it came out on Switch
Okay,
and
so it must
PC
have been
forever
PlayStation.
ago.
I think it was maybe PlayStation and
Last
PlayStation
year.
Digital. I don't fucking know, but 7% of the physical sales were on Xbox. That's what I remember from the article. And their revolving idea on the article about that was saying that, like, because I read it and I was like, well, yeah, of course it fucking is because it was on Game Pass day one. But they were trying to argue that, because it's on Game Pass and, that's not all the proceeds are going to the to developer and all that stuff. Like, all the people that could have bought it physically are just getting it for free. Like you got it on Game Pass. There were not necessarily saying like Game Pass sucks or Game Pass is the worst, or trying to make like some kind of slander article, but they were just bringing up a hypothesis of like, is Game Pass fully beneficial, fully profitable in the long term or short term for a developer studio, mainly a small one, and that's what we're going to talk about today. Just basically Game Pass in the realms in the relation to small developers. Because for those who don't know, the few of you who don't know, Game Pass is an online service through Microsoft. You can use it on your PC, I believe, and your phone too. I think certain phones can do it.
Yep. You have to have a different one.
Okay,
There's different tiers.
it's available on. Isn't it available on the
yes.
Switch too? Was that a real thing? Did they make it available on the Switch?
Not yet.
Okay,
They're talking.
So for now, it's just
it.
Xbox, PC, the consoles, and your phone if you have the right tier. And there's like 100 or so games on it, all digital. And you if you pay the subscription fee, you get access to all those games, and you can download them. Right? You download them to the system, and can you keep them after the service is expired? Okay, cool. But you do get them as long as you are subscribed, and it's great. You can download them basically, a bunch of you pay. I mean, yeah, you're paying like, I don't know. Well, it depends if you're bundling it with Xbox Live. But I think the service by itself is like 30. It's itself for a few months, like $3.
It's about $15 a month if you do the year.
It comes out to $15 a month if you do the year. Okay, but it's like $30 for 3 months or something like that, or 25 for 3. Something like that's usually what those
something like that. Yeah, 25 for 3. I think it's 25.
That's usually what those pay schemes are.
It's 6. So it's 6. I know this one because I just bought it. It's $60 for 3 months of live.
Yeah, for combined. Yeah, okay. Because the Xbox Game Pass Ultimate, I think they call that one. All right.
Yes.
So yeah. So that's what it is essentially. It is what PlayStation Now wishes it was, and it's coming from a Sony fan myself.
They're changing.
We'll see. I've heard rumors.
They allow you to download games now.
Sure?
Yes, they just changed that recently. They allow you to download games. Most games, maybe not all. So it's all PlayStation 4 and 5 games. They allow you to download. PlayStation 3 games, I still think are streaming.
I'll look into that. Anyway, but it's still what PlayStation Now wishes it was. Still not as good.
Still not.
And that's coming from a PlayStation guy myself. Okay, I actually have a PlayStation Now subscription card that I got on accident from my mom. And I haven't used it. It's sitting on my desk. It's been sitting there since Easter. Anywho, so that's basically a little lay down of what the service is. Now, what it means though is that you pay the service to Microsoft, whatever you paid for whatever plan you got, and you can actually see these games. Some are from big developers, Bethesda, their internal studios, big third party. I mean,
which Bethesda is now.
Right. Which Bethesda was in my head because you said their name earlier. But like and some big third party ones, from Gearbox or Take-Two or EA, all that stuff.
For example, Back 4 Blood.
Yeah, and a lot of games get announced and they'll be day one, all that stuff. So
that's crazy. A Sony game, MLB The Show,
that's crazy.
Is on Game Pass.
The amount of pull Game Pass has now is insane. So you get all the access to these games, and you download them. It's great. Like you paid Xbox this CD, right? But then it's like how much of that gets dispersed to the developers, right? Because with so many games in the Game Pass, it's like how does the developer get their money back, right, for a digital copy? Because it's different than if they just buying it by itself on the store. Because that's more simple. The developer asks the publisher, "Can I put this on your store?" And they pay a fee to do that. So Microsoft gets a little bit of a cut, and maybe they get a cut at the final sale, and then they split the rest. They split it some way between Microsoft and the developer. But with the Game Pass thing, it's a little bit different because you have so many games that are consolidated into that price. They have over 100 games into that price, and so it's like, how do they figure out their cut if someone decides to download that game? If no one downloads it, or if downloads are really low, do they get less? Do they get more? And for big developers, whatever, who gives a fuck, right? I mean, Yakuza series. I mean, they're not Take-Two, but they're not small. So like, they're not probably gonna sweat it. But for people who did make Hades, even though the game is phenomenal and people are fucking loving it, they still need to make sure people buy it, like with money, so they can make sure they can keep going and supporting it and maybe making a sequel or some other great game in the future. So it makes me wonder. So they were wondering, the article was basically wondering, like, is this actually really good when a lot of people just download a game seemingly for free rather than purchasing a physical copy of it? Does it hurt their bottom line? And David sent me an article that I didn't get to read. He didn't read it either. So
I skimmed it. That's what I was
okay,
doing on my
good,
phone at the
good. You
beginning
skimmed it.
of
So
this thing.
what did you
Yeah,
get from skimming it?
that's good. So okay, so what I got, and this is also has some knowledge from just past articles I've read and things I've listened to. So essentially, we have not apples to apples comparisons, but we have apples to oranges comparisons, which they're still fruit. So
They're healthy for you. So
you have
okay.
Netflix, of course, and all those other streaming
that
services
works.
for movies and
We could
TV
use that. That
shows and
works.
things like that. And I think maybe even a little bit better of one is music streaming services like what's the one everybody uses?
Spotify or
Spotify.
Pandora?
Like Spotify.
Okay.
Pandora, whatever. So basically what it is you can negotiate your own thing, right? So this is a negotiation. So obviously the bigger publishers are going to have more negotiating power to get a better deal for themselves. But essentially you could take a upfront cut and just say, hey, I want X amount of money for X amount of months on Game Pass. And they'll work that out. And if they come to an agreement, bam, they'll get a lump sum for the time period that it's on Game Pass. Others, maybe smaller developers, or maybe not. I don't actually know which one would be better for smaller or bigger. But the other way is downloads per money per download. So if the game is downloaded X amount of times, you get this amount of money.
Commission, basically.
And of course, then
commission style.
Commission, yeah. And then there is, of course, combinations of both. A set amount plus X amount per download. So that's basically the money stream. It's worked for Netflix and other streaming, video services. It's worked for music streaming services, and we've had the same conversation. It seems like the old heads have the same conversation every time. That's like, I don't understand. There's no physical thing, because they had the same thing. Pandora and the other one I keep on forgetting the name of was going to be the end of the music industry because there's no CDs now, and Netflix was going to be the end of the movie industry and the TV industry because how can people make money? But as you see, you still haven't watched all the shows on Netflix. So, but yeah, that's the money. That's what I got from the money aspect of it. Is that they still get a good amount of money, and it might not be as much as it's not going to be as much if they were to sell physical or digital downloads for every download that they got on Game Pass. They're obviously going to get more if it was just a full game digital download or game sale. But you got to think there are, even with Hades, who won Game of the Year on the Switch, when it released on the Switch and PC. It was critically acclaimed. It's an amazing game, but you're still in a niche category to where a lot of people aren't going to play your game because they just never played a game like that before. They're not going to pay $40 for something that they don't know if they're going to like. And I've run into this, not with Hades. I knew I was going to love Hades. Like, I've been waiting for Hades forever. But I have played a lot of games on Game Pass that I would have never tried. Neon Abyss is one of them. There's this other like card building deck game, Darkest Descent, that I never would have played. and I love that. I probably would have never played Yakuza, be honest with you. Like because like I've never played any of them, and like I wasn't like yeah, I saw them, but like I wasn't too interested in them. But then it was on Game Pass, and I was like, ah, fuck it,
Well, also for the
download it
longest
real
time, they weren't
quick.
even on Xbox, I believe. Not until very recently.
Yeah, not until
Yeah,
the
so even if
Xbox One. I believe the
7 was the first one. I think 7 was the first one to be physically released on both consoles.
I no, I think they had
Was
the
6 in
latest.
because they had 6 was the
I
there
believe
was 6
6 was
and
the
then
latest.
Kiwami.
The latest one that wasn't Dragon.
I think that was
I
Kiwami.
think maybe. Who
I mean,
knows?
well,
You might
because
be
like the
right.
latest ones that were on the
You might be right.
PS4, there was 6, Kiwami, which was just remake of 1, Kiwami 2, remake of 2, and then Yakuza 0. And then
The
Yakuza, well,
collection.
yes, but the Yakuza 0. And those were those were like, I guess, the newer ones before 7. But I don't remember those being available on Xbox. I really don't. And especially
It
the
might not be.
collections, I don't think those were on Xbox at all. I don't think they released those. I mean,
Yeah.
let us know in the comments if we're mistaken, but I don't remember
Yeah,
seeing
who knows?
them like box arts for Xbox.
Yeah. So you have that like happen, right? And let's just say that even Hades didn't get all the acclamation that it did prior to being on Game Pass. Let's just say that it never released on there, or it went by without notice on PC and Switch, and just released on Game Pass. And then people, download on Game Pass and played it, and like, oh shit, this is really good. Another thing that's a benefit to studios, especially small ones, is they get their name out there, and the next time a game comes out, I'm gonna be looking. I don't honestly. I don't know the name of the
I don't either.
developer, but if they
Let's find out.
say
Let's find out.
what,
I don't know what it is either.
yeah, if they say the makers of Hades, even like I would probably buy that game if it wasn't on Game Pass. Now that I know what they made in the past, now I'm buying their the physical copy. Honestly, let's say that Hades drops out of Game Pass here in the next month. I'm gonna still want to play it. I'll buy it. So not only did they make the money off of me for the download I had on Game Pass, but I'm probably going to buy a physical copy of it anyway. And I'm sure I'm not alone in that fact. So yeah, that's my whole take on it. I love Game Pass. I think it's good for everything. Of course, it hasn't been out long enough to know. It could fail. I don't think it will. I think it's going to go the
What's it
same
been?
route
3 years now?
as Netflix
3
and
years
everything
so far?
else.
2019?
Yes,
Around
since the
2019 or
beta.
2018 or
Since the
something?
beta,
Yeah.
yeah.
Not too long.
Yeah. I think it's only been being paid for the last 2 years. There was the beta that was out for a little bit. But yeah.
So first of all, it's Super Giant Games. That's the name of the devs. So there you go.
Yes.
We looked it up.
And I would, if I heard that, I would be like, oh shit, they're the ones that made Hades.
Well, now you will. I actually looked. Apparently, they also made Transistor, which I believe was a PS4 game. I think it might have even been an exclusive. It was actually one of the games I think near its beginning of the life cycle of that generation's life cycle, and actually did really really fucking well. It was actually one of like the early big hits for Sony, even though it was an indie game. And they also came out with Bastion, which I don't know if it was on XBLA, but it was on PSN, and I never played it, but I heard about it.
I heard
of that one.
Yeah.
Was that on XBLA?
And here's the thing.
No,
okay. I don't think so. Maybe, but here's the thing. Now, let's say they put Transistor and Bastion on Game Pass. I'm downloading them, like absolutely. Or I might go out and buy them. I don't know. Probably not me, because me. But other people will now, because they're like, oh shit, I need more of Super Giant Games, and then they're going to Google it and be like, oh shit, but they would have never played Hades if it wasn't.
Yeah, and let's kind of back up a tiny bit. I know David just said he loves Game Pass, and that's great. We are trying to look at Game Pass more of a business perspective rather than our own personal feeling, because I mean, it can't be understated that as far as consumers' point of view, it's fucking amazing. Like, us PlayStation gamers are clamoring for a proper equivalent, and PlayStation Now just isn't it. I know you said a little bit ago, apparently you can download games now, but it's I don't know. I'll have to look that in because people still rag on PlayStation now because it's nowhere near as good as Xbox Game Pass, and
Yeah.
so I mean, that's how bad. I mean, that's how good it is. Like we want that so bad, something just as cool as that, and we don't have something as good as that. But so consumer wise, you can't go wrong. Look, whenever I do finally turn on my Xbox and actually start playing it, I'm getting Game Pass like immediately because why not? Like why the hell wouldn't you? Like it's such a great deal. And I've been going through this phase where I'm now like playing like the kind of like indie games and like lesser known titles that I've never heard of before. So Xbox Game Pass is a great avenue to do that. And that is a huge key thing is that Game Pass provides a level of exposure and awareness that a dev, especially a small dev, would not have had or most likely would not have had otherwise. Yeah, you have your random big game, indie game, sleeper hit, sleeper darling, Celeste or Valheim on the PC, or and now
I was pissed that Valheim's not coming to the Xbox. It's coming to the
is
PlayStation
it
4
really?
and not
Oh, we're getting
Xbox.
it.
And yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
cool.
I'm so
All right,
pissed. It looks so
should we
cool.
play it?
Like
On the channel?
it's a city builder, and also like, oh man, I was so
It's
pissed.
not even my type of game. I should play it just to spite David here. Anyways,
So pissed.
but no, you have your sleeper hits every so and like more recently with Splitgate, you have your sleepers that kind of break the mold. That's always inevitably going to happen. But if you look at that in comparison to all of the other indie games that are out there, like proper indie games, we're not talking about, we're not going to argue about Biomutant, but like, proper, unequivocally indie games, it's a fish in a barrel.
RJ's definition
Shut your
of
damn
indie
mouth.
game.
It's a fish in the water, fish in the ocean. You're gonna get lost in the shuffle. But Game Pass does allow you because it only focuses on instead of like me scouring, PSN, and they actually this is a good thing. So PSN is actually doing a indie game sale or like a under $20 game sale or something like that. And there's like 1,000 games on the fucking thing, right? Which I forgot there was even that many games. A lot of them are indie games. So it's like instead of me browsing through the hundreds and hundreds or even thousands of games on the store to find something new or interesting, I can go to Game Pass. There's only like 150 games on it, much smaller pool. I don't have to look at so many games. It gives an indie game an easier chance for someone to find it and maybe give it a shot. So if anything, it provides awareness, which is key for an indie developer. I mean, it's kind of similar to us being small YouTubers. It's quite similar, Like even though David and I think we're, David, Travis, and myself, we think we're the fucking best YouTubers on the fucking planet, and you can't tell us otherwise. We're the fucking shit. Look at that handsome face over there. Look at that. How do you gonna look at that with his Bluetooth headphones? Like, how you gonna say no to that? How you gonna say no to that? You can't. That's how. And so we know that, and that's how we feel. But the thing is, no one else. We don't have an app. We have trouble finding an avenue to get seen. We knew that we could get seen. We have a good chance of people liking us. And if you have a game like Hades, they know like we have a fucking baller game here. We just need an avenue for people to find to figure that out. And Game Pass is a great avenue to do so. Um, but then when you look a little deeper, when you look at the numbers, that's when things get a little tricky because it's like playing that back the tug of war match between like you said there was like two plans or a combination of the two plans of your compensation and figuring out which one is better for you in the long run and whether or not you can even do one of them. How much pull do you have in negotiations? Like, yeah, Hades great, but they don't have the pull that you know. Um, who makes Yakuza? Sega? Or no, that's the publisher. I forget the developer of Yakuza, but who makes Yakuza? They can actually have some real good negotiations. This 20 person team who made Hades, they can't they don't have the weight to pull, the weight to grab, and really tell Microsoft like we want 30%, for each download. They'd be like, all right, kids, you can go now. Like we're gonna let the adults talk. Um,
But at the same time, and I don't know where this comes into play, but all of the advertisement that I've seen for Game Pass since like a month before Hades came out was Hades.
Well, yeah, but that
Like,
doesn't mean
that's what they're
it is.
advertising.
That's true, but that does not mean that they got a huge cut based on whatever
No,
plan they did in comparison to other indie games. That doesn't. I
yeah,
mean, they probably did, but like it doesn't necessarily indicate that they did just because they're
I
advertising
don't think
their
they
game.
got. Yeah, I don't think they got as big of a cut as Yakuza got
Yeah,
or
or any of the big,
anything like
bigger
that.
developer, but and that's part. But when you don't have a huge profile indie game darling like Hades, and you're still an indie developer, it's like you got to figure out which one to go with, and if you choose the wrong one, you're gonna think that Game Pass was like the worst fucking thing for you. You know, um, it kind of depends on like it's almost a unless you really have like an economics guy on your team, or economics as like your lead developer or whatever, you have a good business savvy person on your team that can kind of advise you, and you do like maybe you can like have a lot of focus tests with your game to see like how are people really engaging it who have played it. You could try to make a some kind of a projection of like is it better if I take the download the compass the commission route where I just get a certain cut per download, or do I take a lump sum up front to protect myself in case it doesn't sell well. For instance, for Hades, it's probably better to take the commission based on how it's been
Yeah,
received, because people are going to
that's what I would go with.
download that game like crazy, and it'll probably be downloaded for a good while to come. Um, but like if you are a small developer and play some of the indie games that I've been fucking playing, which not all of them are good, the lump sum would have been a better chance to take that money and run more or less. You know what I mean? So, but when you're in the thick of things, it's easier for us to talk about this on the outside. But when you're in the thick of things and you're talking to Sony or talking to Nintendo or Xbox, and you need to figure out which one to do, you may not have that clear. It may not be that clear for you to figure out.
Yeah, and I think what's key too is we're talking not about whether developers should put their games on Game Pass. I think I at least, and I don't, you can agree this way. I agree that it is best for especially small developers that if Game Pass wants your game, or you can negotiate something with Game Pass with Xbox to get your game on Game Pass, I think you do it. Like, if you're not known, especially if you're not known, it is the best way for you to get exposure. Like, yeah, we're arguing about what might be the best thing. Like, they might get screwed. Let's say that they take the lump sum, but then their game blows up and they're not getting a lot for the commission portion of it. Like, yeah, whatever. I still think though, even if they do that, they come out on the other end, roses still, because then they can still, their next game, they can go into it and advertise it like, hey, we had this game that blew up, and then they make a different deal. I just I think that as long as you make a deal at the very least that covers your cost and gets you in the at least out of the black, I think that's a deal you take, in
Okay,
my
I'm
opinion.
I'm glad you added that last little bit there, because I was about to kind of play devil's advocate for a second, but yeah, the key thing is to make the deal that covers your costs. At
Mm.
least cover your costs. At least project it to where it'll whatever you do, it will cover the cost. Because like I was thinking, like, because sometimes even like a good example is Kingdoms of Amalur. Well received, not like it wasn't 10 out of 10, but it was well received. Sold like a million or so copies, but not enough, and it told to obscurity because not enough people played it. Even though people who did will rave on about it. So
And well, there was a lot of
oh, I
mishandling
know,
with
I know,
Kingdoms of
I know,
Amalur
I know,
too.
I know, I know. But the point I'm trying to say though is just that sometimes though, even when a
No,
game
yeah,
does do well critically, people love it.
yeah,
It still doesn't sell for one reason or another. So that's what I was saying. But I'm glad you brought up. At least they have to find a deal that covers their expenses at bare minimum. Because like you were saying, like okay, make another game, great. But if they get so screwed, they don't have enough expenses to
yeah.
break even. There may not be another game. There may not be another day in the studio. So that's the thing I worry about. Um,
Or like, and like, there's so much you can do in business, right? Like, let's say a developer gets totally screwed, right? Let's say they make a game, they put it on Game Pass, and for this aspect, let's say that it did well, right? They can go maybe to Game Pass and be like, hey, look, or to Xbox and be like, hey, look, last game that we put on Game Pass, made you guys tons of money. How about you now help us make our next game, and and maybe we make a deal to where you help fund us, right? And then at least they have that connection. So there's a whole bunch of stuff you can do with business, and I think that this just, I don't know. Like I said, if I was a game developer and I had a game that I wanted to get seen and I could get it in front of Microsoft, I would get it in front of Microsoft.
Well, in an extension, Microsoft's audience. That's key.
Yes.
Or if you're really good, you make a really good game, Microsoft will just fucking buy your studio. So
exactly.
So yeah. Anyways, guys, I think that kind of wrapped up. At least I got a good foundation for this conversation. Yeah, in Bethesda, the indie darling, we all knew could pull through. They just kept going. So I think that kind of wrapped up. At least got a good foundation for this topic here. I guess to answer the question, I mean, Game Pass is great for consumers. I think it definitely it's more positive than not to do it as a developer.
But you still got to be smart.
But just make it a calculated decision rather than just be like, yeah, put on Game Pass because that's what everyone else is doing. Be smart about it. You should be smart with everything you do. You are running a fucking business after all. That's word wise from me. That's a little tip from you can take home tonight from RJ.
Be smart.
Be smart with your business. All right. I'm not. I can't think of a famous person. Anyways, I'm gonna wrap this up here, guys. Next time, I don't know what we're gonna talk about, but we never do. So thanks for watching. Thanks for sticking with us for this long. If you did, hope this was entertaining to you guys. And with that, we will see you guys next week. Bye, guys.